This is it, folks.
Hurricane Milton has just made landfall. This is a live look at downtown Tampa. We've been seeing rain and powerful wind too. Right now, NBC News is reporting confirmed deaths in Florida. This catastrophic weather event prompting storm surge warnings along much of Florida's western coast and critical evacuation orders aimed at saving lives.
It's going to take us hours, if not days, to be able to come to you.
This hurricane already spawning a destructive tornado outbreak in Florida. Homes ripped apart hours before Milton hit. But now, communities there, still stinging from Hurricane Helene, are now preparing for a bout with Milton. More than 1.5 million people without power. Thanks for inviting us in. It's 11 o'clock, and we are talking about the incredible risk from high wind and heavy rain. Jay Gray is getting a firsthand look tonight in Fort Myers.
Well, good evening, and conditions here in Fort Myers dropping off, and that'll continue to deteriorate through the evening here, so more sustained winds and a more constant rainfall. When this storm moves through, we're going to see winds over 100 miles an hour. We're going to see a constant rain. We're already dealing with problems from the storm surge, water pushing into coastal businesses, and that's going to grow. Forecasters saying we could see a 10 to 15-foot storm surge before it's all said and done here. That would push water into places it's frankly never been in this area, and that's saying something. They've dealt with a lot of storms over the last few years here. Helene just 2 weeks ago, bringing damage to this area. Debbie, which was a tropical storm before that. 2 years ago, Ian, which really ravaged this area, destroyed so many homes, damaged so many businesses here. I talked to a couple that was evacuating, moving to higher ground and out of the path of this storm. And they said they were just feeling a sense of normalcy, that they had gotten things back from Ian 2 years ago. Now they've been forced to leave it all behind, move out of the way. They say some of the toughest hours are right now, watching this all develop and unfold, wondering what's going to be left here when they can finally get back in. There's concern that power in some of the hardest hit areas will be out not for days, but for weeks here. A lot of people preparing for what's going to be a long, a difficult go here as well. We'll continue to watch things. For now, though, that's the situation here. I'm Jay Gray.
All right, Jay, thanks so much. Let's bring in Sean. He's been tracking things from the Weather Center. So, Sean, what can we expect here in the coming hours?
Well, flash flooding, big problem here, Scott. In fact, all of Tampa Bay under a flash flood emergency at this hour here. The strongest wind with Milton is over. Made landfall around 8:30 around Siesta Key with a maximum wind of 120. It's still a Category 2 hurricane. It stays a hurricane strength overnight tonight. Very heavy band of rain with the stronger gusts now riding right along I-4, and that's going to take it into Orlando. It's going to take it into Deltona as well as Daytona. These are flash flood warnings and flash flood emergencies. That includes Lakeland. It includes all of the Tampa Bay area, where some areas have already had over 15 inches of rain. And that zone is going to still be pounded at least northeast from Tampa to Lakeland. And you can see this thing is really speeding up here. That's how things are going to progress for the rest of the night. Sustained winds right now in the 50 to 60 range. We've had some few gusts over 100 miles per hour. We'll have the 7-day forecast here locally coming up in a few minutes.
This is pretty intense.
Families urged to get out of Florida, but some making the decision to stay, including some folks from Speedway. The Bruleys have a home in Port Charlotte, not far from where Milton made landfall tonight. Mary Bruley told us her home is up to current hurricane code. It's also in an evacuation zone, but she told us she's got plenty of food and water right now, and they put up storm shutters.
This home's pretty solid, and we're up high enough and inland enough. We're pretty safe. We feel we're pretty safe, but you know, that can all change.
Mary's been telling 13 News she has experienced several hurricanes in the past. She spent more than 2 decades in Florida, but she admits tonight this one feels different and is asking for prayers as this storm hits. Well, right now, Indiana Task Force 1 is on standby tonight in southern Georgia. The 84-person team is expected to fly into the Tampa area after this hurricane moves through. Tonight, Lauren Kostick shares how they're doing right now after an already exhaustive 2 weeks helping with Helene.
Hurricane Milton looming over Florida's Gulf Coast just 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene made landfall. Indiana's Task Force One preparing to answer the call again.
The guys are ready to go. We're going to be going down into Florida as soon as Milton comes through.
The more than 80-person team has been in search and rescue mode for weeks. First starting in Florida and then moving to North Carolina. Now on standby in Georgia.
We did a bunch of training today to be prepped for the storm for Milton to come in. With it being as strong as it is, we believe that there's probably going to be a need for us to be airlifted in. So we did a bunch of aircraft safety training today.
The team also preparing equipment and resting up after being deployed for more than 2 weeks. Task Force One leader Jay Settergren calling his team resilient.
The last 2 days, we've been really concentrating on getting some rest and just prepping for Milton. But very strong-minded, very sharp skills, have been practicing our craft and are ready to go into work. So everybody's upbeat and ready to go help.
Their main assignment will be search and rescue, helping local first responders.
And I believe with the size of this storm that they're going to be taxed fairly quickly just because of the, again, size and complexity of it.
A team of Hoosier helpers ready to go when the call comes.
Lauren, any idea when that call could be coming?
Well, Scott, we're told they have to wait for this storm to pass and to make sure things are safe. And then as soon as they get that call, they will head down there, and that could even happen overnight.
All right, Lauren Kostick, thanks so much. Governor Eric Holcomb is activating the Indiana National Guard tonight to help with hurricane relief efforts in Florida. 400 soldiers from units based in Lawrence, Gary, Terre Haute, and Albany are heading that way. They're going to be helping with things like route clearance and supply distribution. Now, you can monitor Hurricane Milton anytime on our 13 weather app. It allows you to check the storm's track right there on your phone. Plus, you can check in with our weather team on their blog. That app is a free download. You can get it in the App Store right now. Tonight at 11, the City County Council's investigative committee selected an outside law firm to look into harassment allegations within the Joe Hogsett administration. The 7 councilors voted unanimously tonight to hire Fisher Phillips. This is a law firm based out of Chicago. Councilors told us the firm was the cheapest option and the most qualified.
While cost was sort of at the bottom of our list, it was a really happy coincidence that Fisher Phillips not only had the sort of chops that we need to move forward in this work, but also we feel really good about the budget impact that a case like this will bring.
Fisher Phillips is also giving the committee a discount with hourly rates ranging between $300 and $600. Taxpayers will foot that bill. The committee plans to meet again in November, and they hope to have representatives from the law firm in attendance that day. More than 2,000 ballots now cast in the first 2 days of early voting here in Marion County. And had to have a say in the democratic process takes a lot of help. In fact, the Marion County Clerk told 13 News they need 3,000 poll workers to make sure that everyone can vote here in Indy without a problem. Election officials are telling us they still need about 800 people to sign up before Election Day. 81-year-old Amy Alia has been a poll worker for more than 4 decades.
This is what it is about. Get involved. Because if you don't get involved, you cannot speak. If you don't vote, don't complain.
For now, the City-County building is the only place to vote early here in Marion County, but those options expand October 26th when the satellite site voting begins. So if you'd like to become a poll worker, you can head over to WTHR.com. That's where you can find a link to sign up. We've got some new developments tonight in a 13 Investigate story. The arrest of a former daycare director in Anderson. Last month, we introduced you to a mom who reported her son, who has autism, was mistreated at the YMCA Early Learning Child Care Facility at Madison Park. Court records reveal he was left alone in a classroom and a bathroom and had his diaper duct taped. Well, today the daycare director, Starr Conley, pleaded not guilty to reckless supervision of a child by a care provider, plus failure to report child abuse or neglect. The boys' teacher, Destiny Valadares, is also charged tonight with reckless supervision. The YMCA told 13 Investigates it fired both of those women.